Ebusuafo ni etiefo ni die kwan so me pacho me ma obi bia akwaba ba channel so hanum daily update TV. Ebusua me pacho ene parliamentarians ye MPC wo mako parliament wo mako tena se wo mokoye adwuma as usual. Na me pacho eniyema bia koso pa nsema koso. Me ma me kasa nyetintin ye video ne bekọ akohwe. Yenko hwe video no ni nti nsema ekoso. Obetimas Yakupon sha no Kesi. Mpacho or comment a message say obey constructive now they share comment section. Ya beje na yakenkan. Yakupon show bibia won sha yenina. Me pacho me da se bebre.
The opportunity to Honorable Eric Opoku. I'll come to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, it is surprising this afternoon that our colleagues on the majority side is arguing as if they are in opposition. They are still in government. Their tenure has not ended. They have not handed over yet. They still have a duty to perform under the Constitution of Ghana. We have gone through several transitions. No president has ever avoided a critical duty like this in our nation. Presidents have lost elections, but they've performed their duties. It is the duty of President Nana Akufo-Addo to present the statement before this House. It is his duty. We approved the budget last November. The budget ends in December. The new government will be ushered in early January. So we need expenditure in advance of the budget to be able to pay salaries from January, February, March until a new budget is introduced into this House. This is the simple duty that the president must perform to the good people of Ghana. And the finance minister always performs this duty on behalf of the president. You recall, when the finance minister was not available to discharge this responsibility, we allowed the then majority leader, our able majority leader, to step in his shoes and perform that critical duty. And today, you are refuging in some excuses that we haven't heard before in this House. Mr. Speaker, the introduction of Article 37 in this debate is uncalled for. It has nothing to do with what we intend to do. In fact, Article 71 has never been mentioned anywhere. What we are running away from is to present expenditure in advance of budget. Just expenditure to cater for January, February, and March. And you are saying that, look, you have lost elections, so you won't do. Is that what you're telling us? Is that what you're telling us? That you have lost elections, and therefore you don't want to perform that duty. The president, Nana Akufo-Addo, cannot do this to Ghanaians. He must come and present the document. He has a duty to fulfill, and he cannot run away from that responsibility. That is why the leader is not here. That is why all your ministers are not around. Please and please, Mr. Speaker, it is a duty that they must perform. They cannot run away. Are you telling the good people of Ghana that you are now in the minority, you have lost elections, so you can't perform your duty? That they shouldn't be paid for January, February, March because they have voted against you. Is that what you're telling us? It is wrong. It has never happened in the history of this country. Don't set that bad precedence. Because yesterday, your leader was here giving hope that very soon you come back. And this is what you want to do to Ghanaians. That you have lost elections. So even budget, constitutional duty, you don't want to do it. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Mr. Speaker, you have all the powers to compel these people to perform the duty that they must, perform under the Constitution. So long as we have all accepted to run this country by law, the law must work.
Yes.
So wherever the finance minister is, he's also a member of this House. He should know that he can run, but he can never hide. Wherever he is, we'll bring him before this House to prevent that statement. Mr. Speaker, on this note, thank you very much.
Since when did speaking prevent you from speaking again in this House? Since when? Mr. Speaker, I'm wondering where my good friend and a very, very good friend of mine, Pendream, is coming from. Mr. Speaker, I was on my way to Parliament when I saw him sitting on my feet. And the time when I come, he will beat me. Somebody who threatened to beat me if I come and cock my seat is now telling me. He's now telling me that he's begging me to come so that you beat me. No. Mr. Speaker, what we are saying is so fundamental to the issues. Mr. Speaker, we have been in this chamber when the Speaker has even said that the deputy speakers cannot represent him on certain issues. We have been here. We have been here. We have been here and we have been told that if you don't know, the Honorable Chairman Sabosu, MP for Swami, is no longer the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. When the President announced his team for transition, he was labeled as Minister for Presidential Affairs. So he has moved on. He has moved on. He cannot come here and present things on the back. No, Mr. Speaker, the most serious aspect of this is that if we don't get the finance minister, we cannot move. Even bills, we have been told that if the minister doesn't come, bills cannot be presented. Haven't we been told that by my honorable colleagues? What is different? Let us suspend sitting, go and look for the finance minister, let him come and lay the paper, and then we'll do the vote. It's not only the vote of account, Mr. Speaker. They are interested not in the vote of account too, Mr. Speaker. They are interested in their terminal benefits. It is part. I don't aim me here. You don't want to come to work. For 2 weeks, NDC side of Parliament decided that Parliament should close. You are not ready to work. Why are you now ready to work? You are ready to work because you are interested in Article 71. His Excellency, the resetting president, has said, even when he comes to office, he's going to cancel Article 71. It is not a priority for anybody. Let us do things that are better, not Article 71. That His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised Ghanaians that he doesn't want Article 71. We are not going to do Article 71. We will do it. When you come and approve it so that I can come and collect my own. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable members, I wanted to give it to the senior most, but once the whip is up on his feet, let him give it to the whip.
Mr. Speaker, this was a very simple matter. And I said that the leader, Honorable Chairman Sabonsu, actually gave a reason. Then this thing is getting into another level. I am so surprised. Today, the former running mate, maybe he's okay now. He's basically stabbing even the people on his side. The constitution of this country, at the moment, does not prevent Article 71 office holders from getting whatever is entitled to them. When President Mahama said when he becomes president, is President Mahama president today? So what is your business talking about the fact that you will not pay? You will not pay what, Mr. Speaker? It's a simple thing. Why is he telling us to close, Mr. Speaker? I just saw our colleague, the minister responsible for environment. The bill we have gone through is left with only third reading. In fact, you were in the chair when we passed it. For some reason, when we started this debate, I just saw our colleague leave the chamber again. If you brought a bill, you don't want to do it, all of a sudden, they have decided that you are still government. Mr. Speaker, this is still the government. And you are still responsible for carrying out your responsibilities until the 7th of January. Why are you deciding that you will not work? Why are you deciding not to work, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, even if they will not lay the bill, at conclave, it was decided that we will take the third reading of the Environmental Protection Bill and do the Ghana Boundary Commission bills. And the Honorable Chairman Sabosu and colleagues are ready to take this. So if the running mate have decided to check out of Parliament, he doesn't even want Parliament to work because he's going to enjoy the running mate statusship, he can actually leave us in the chamber to do parliamentary work. If you come to Parliament, you must work. So the recommendation that we should close, Mr. Speaker, really, that People have come to work. We have work to do. The only recommendation he's given us. So if your party has won, would you have been saying that we shouldn't work? Or because you lost, you don't want to do any work again? But maybe next time you contest again, isn't it? So help Parliament to work. So, Mr. Speaker, I take exception to the comment he made that this side is doing this because of our personal benefit. Mr. Speaker, that is inappropriate. And I encourage him either to substantiate what he says or withdraw. He must withdraw or substantiate the allegation he's making that members of this House are only ready to work in this chamber because of Article 71. He must actually prove it or withdraw that statement because it is actually demeaning and it's falsehood. It's peddling falsehood. And somebody who actually aspired to occupy the high office of state should not be peddling falsehood. So he must either withdraw or substantiate what he has said. Mr. Speaker, that's what I'm saying.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the former leader, Honorable Osei Chairman Sabonsu, for the education and the briefing. In fact, this side of the House, we are very well aware of the consequences of not approving this expenditure in advance of appropriation. Mr. Speaker, if all that he said, and that is a fact, that not approving this, even the inauguration cannot take place because government expenditure cannot take place from January 1. And the duty is on the president, the current president, in Article 180 of the Constitution to bring this estimate that will cover the first quarter of next year for the House to approve. When exactly is the Minister of Finance coming to lay the document? Because if the document is not laid, the House cannot act on it. And if that document is not laid and the House has nothing to work on, the challenges we are going to have will squarely be blamed on his side of the House. Because our side do not have the executive power to bring this document to the House. The executive power is on the current president to bring the document to the House. So the people of Ghana who are watching us live knows very well that if they fail to do that, where government expenditure cannot take place from January, they will be blamed. So I want to ask the leader, the former leader, based on the assurance that he has given us, that he should honor that assurance and bring the document for the House so that we can work on it. Because we have up to only Friday to be able to work on it. That is what I can ask for. Because what I wanted to say earlier, I dropped them because of the assurances he has given us. So I want to thank him to bring out the document to work on. Thank you.
That's why let me thank the former majority leader for the assurance again. But let me also say that I was waiting for him to have stated a very clear position he made in the last parliament, in this same period where he was very clear that when we are in a period of transition, as we are, the things we do in this House must relate to transition, and there must be transitional issues, and that we cannot commit the incoming government with any other financial obligations. And that's what he said, and I supported him then, and I support him now. I also want to state for the record that anytime we talked about the issue of who was majority and majority, and what turned out, we must not forget that the reason it went out of proportion was because the leader of the House, the majority leader, who was supposed to guide this House and protect the independence of Parliament, recognizing the separation of powers and protect this House, was the one that basically took the matter to the world and went to the Supreme Court and turned this whole thing upside down. And that is the record, and we must not forget. But more importantly, Honourable Speaker, as we discuss this, today's other paper has nothing to do with Article 71. So it was needless to have been brought up. More importantly, we must note that we don't have too much time. We have already agreed in the business committee the things that we are going to focus on this week. There are bills that have run the course that we must complete. The Public Account Committee has done some work. We must make sure we finish. And then we must deal with this important issue on expenditure in advance of the budget. These are the issues that we have agreed on, and we must focus on them. All the other issues, I support what former Majority Leader, Honorable Chairman Sembosu has said. We are not, in this transitional period, going to approve new loans, commit the government on tax waivers. Anything related to committing this government must wait for a few weeks for the incoming president. So, right now, Speaker, we take the assurance and we await a very critical matter, the Minister of Finance to come in for us to deal with a very important matter and deal with the other issues. Today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday, we are rising on Friday. You are going to be responsible if we don't achieve the things we've set our eyes on. And we must do them. Don't drag us back. We know exactly why we are here. We are in a transitional period. You have been reduced to Nkokwan Kete, we understand. And we are working with you to make sure we transition in a very beautiful, peaceful manner. Let's do so. Thank you.
Yeah. My attention was drawn to the fact that the Honorable Majority Leader had indicated that he is consulting with me and that we should suspend before we come back to the chamber to continue the work. Mr. Speaker, I have not seen him today, and I've been here since morning, but I have not seen him personally, even with an eye. I don't know where he is. So, Mr. Speaker, it cannot be that he's consulting with me. I'm here now, and I've not seen him. I was here in the morning during the pre-sitting meeting. I asked my colleagues to take charge. I'm going for a transition meeting and we'll be back. I'm back now after the transition meeting. I was there with the minister responsible for finance, and here am I. I've not seen him. So, Mr. Speaker, clearly there is no business to do, and the honorable member for Doma East, the one that the 82-year-old defeated, has indicated that obviously there's no business. So, Mr. Speaker, in view of that, I think we can adjourn for today. Thank you.
Speaker, the matters that have recently risen in the House are not matters that we should take lightly, especially because, Mr. Speaker, you have been accused for frustrating government business as recently as last 2 weeks. Mr. Speaker, where we have been billed to consider business for the day, and you actually proceeded to the items under 8, and yet there's nobody willing to just rise and bow for these papers to be laid. Mr. Speaker, may I refer the House to Order 96 of our standing orders. Mr. Speaker, presentation of papers. Speaker, it reads, a paper may be presented to the House only by the Speaker, the chairperson of a committee, a member, a minister, or a head of an independent constitutional body. So why is the group in government most unwilling for us to do any business today? Mr. Speaker, because we don't want our side to be accused of frustrating government business. This is what they go to the media and say. And I take strong exception to the fact that even though we have businesses listed on the order paper for today, the front bench of the leadership of the group in government are most unwilling for us to do anything. And they're actually urging upon you for the House to be suspended for some number of hours. Mr. Speaker, the people are looking at us. We have a few days to rise. And I believe that suspending or adjourning the House will not be the best option. I believe that we should be able to do some business today so that the little time we have can be profitably used. Mr. Speaker, with these words, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Ebusua me pacho me da obi bia se wanya mre no abanya videos ni bi so ahwe Yakopon hira ye nyina message so de comment e be share comment section no said the makan earlier no me da obi bia se for me pacho ye de nkomo ni besia me da se bebre